In the early morning heat of a dusty Gendarmerie training camp, a man drops flat to the ground. Sweat trickles down his temple. His fingers tighten around a Kalashnikov rifle. This man is not a soldier. He is a journalist. Behind him, rows of entrepreneurs and local professionals stand waiting their turn. Each of them about to do something they never imagined. Learning how to fight. This is not a movie. This is Burkina Faso. Today, under the leadership of President Traoré, the country has launched an extraordinary campaign turning everyday citizens into trained defenders of their communities. These volunteers are called the VDP, or Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland. Their mission is simple but powerful. Protect what is yours. And now more than ever, that mission belongs to everyone, not just the army. Today's story is not only about weapons, uniforms, or physical endurance. It is about transformation. It is about the moment a farmer, a student, a mother, or a reporter becomes something more, a guardian. This is a journey about responsibility, courage, and national pride. And it is happening across the land, one citizen at a time. The birth of a new spirit. Why VDP matters. The VDP, or Volunteers pour Lance de Patrie, was created in 2019 and revived with full strength under Traoré's command in 2022. Faced with an ever-growing threat from armed groups targeting villages and rural populations, the government realized that traditional forces were stretched thin. The VDP became the answer, a force made of the people for the people. These volunteers are not career soldiers. They are shopkeepers, farmers, school teachers, carpenters, ordinary men and women with an extraordinary sense of duty. Their role is not to replace the military but to stand beside it. Together they form a web of vigilance and defense that stretches deep into the heart of the country. What makes the VDP unique is their deep connection to the land and community. They know the hills, the dirt paths, the hidden routes. They know who belongs and who does not. This gives them a critical advantage when monitoring suspicious activity, reporting early threats, and assisting with tactical decisions. Intelligence gathered by VDPs has helped prevent ambushes, track enemy movements, and reclaim villages from fear. Take the village of Pensa, for example. With military support delayed due to distance and terrain, it was the VDP team stationed nearby that alerted local elders, coordinated evacuations, and stood watch through the night. Their alertness and sacrifice gave soldiers time to arrive and saved lives. But their contribution goes beyond protection. VDPs also play a vital role in restoring public services in contested zones. With their presence, schools reopen, markets function, families return to their homes. The message is clear. Security is not only about bullets. It is about reclaiming daily life. On a national level, the VDP expands the defensive perimeter of the country, while the army focuses on large-scale operations. VDPs keep local threats in check, ensuring no area is left behind. In doing so, they provide the armed forces the breathing room needed to plan and execute complex missions more effectively. Above all, the VDP represents a shift in national consciousness. For decades, defense was seen as the army's job, but under Traoré, that idea has changed. Security is now a shared mission, a call to action for every Burkinabe willing to stand up. Because in a nation where danger hides behind village corners, the strongest armor is unity, and the VDP, born from that unity, is not just a force. It is a spirit. When people think of soldiers, they picture uniforms, ranks, and lifelong training. They do not picture journalists. They do not picture young women who run online businesses, or men who sell produce in village markets. And yet here in Burkina Faso, these are the people holding rifles, crawling through dust and learning how to aim. The reason is clear. President Traoré believes that in times of crisis, the strength of a nation lies not only in its army but in its people. He has called upon every citizen to be more than an observer. He has asked them to become defenders of their homeland. And so under the National VDP program, a new kind of training began. It is called immersion. It is not designed to turn people into full-time soldiers. It is designed to teach discipline, survival, and the mindset of a protector. At the gendarmerie camp in Lumbala, the air is filled with the sharp sound of gunfire. But these are not seasoned troops. They are journalists adjusting their eyes to the target. They are young entrepreneurs, gripping rifles for the first time. Each participant is given 4 bullets, 4 chances to prove to themselves that they can focus, breathe, and hit the center. And many do. One young woman, quiet and focused, strikes the bullseye. Every time, she says she never thought she had it in her. Another man, a television reporter, trembles slightly before his first shot. But by the end of the session, he is smiling, his shots steady and centered. What makes this even more powerful is the structure of the training. Nothing is left to chance. Participants are taught how to move, when to speak, and most importantly, when to be silent. One instructor warns, "Here, you do not drink water unless told. Every movement must be authorized." It is not about being harsh. It is about learning to function under command. Because on a battlefield, hesitation or disobedience can cost lives. The exercises go beyond shooting. There is climbing, crawling, running in the heat, and there is waiting. Hours of it. No phones, no shade, just the quiet strength of people pushing themselves beyond comfort. A television executive from BF1, the very man who helped organize the business training program, joins the shooting line himself. Afterward, he says something remarkable. He says, "I have learned to breathe under pressure. I have learned to find calm in the middle of noise. And more than that, I have gained respect for the men and women who do this every day for our country." These words echo the deeper goal of the program. It is not only to prepare citizens for emergencies. It is to change how they see themselves, to build a mindset that values discipline, endurance, and unity. The people who come out of this training are not the same as when they arrived. They may not become full-time fighters, but they return to their jobs, their homes, and their communities with a new sense of clarity. They are more aware, more focused, and most of all, more ready to protect what matters. Under Traoré, this is the new face of national strength. Not just soldiers on the front lines, but citizens behind every wall, every door, every microphone, ready to stand up when it counts. Leadership comes in many forms. Some lead with speeches, others lead with symbols. But Traoré leads with presence. Young, determined, and always in uniform. He stands not above the people but among them. In the eyes of many Burkina, he is more than a president. He is a reflection of their hopes, their courage, and their will to defend their land. Since taking leadership, Traoré has carried a vision that goes beyond conventional politics. He sees a nation not just protected by soldiers but carried forward by citizens. And he believes every citizen, regardless of background, has a role to play in national security, national economy, and national pride. The heart of his leadership are 3 guiding pillars. First, self-defense. Traoré has made it clear that Burkina Faso will not wait for others to solve his problems. Through initiatives like the VDP, he has empowered local communities to take charge of their own security. From remote villages to regional towns, citizens are trained, trusted, and equipped to defend what is theirs. Second, self-reliance in the economy. Traoré has encouraged a return to local production, agriculture, and entrepreneurship. He knows that when people depend on themselves for food and work, they gain strength not only in body but in spirit. Programs like Pepit d'Entrepreneur train young people to start businesses with purpose. And now, thanks to immersion, these same young people also learn how to protect that purpose. Third, community ownership. This is perhaps the most powerful idea. Traoré believes a strong Burkina Faso is not built by government alone. It is built by every citizen who decides to take responsibility for their block, their village, their country, whether by patrolling a field, rebuilding a school, or simply encouraging others. Each act of service is a thread in the fabric of national unity. The impact of this vision is already visible. The entrepreneurs who trained at the germ are not just better marksmen. They are better listeners, better neighbors, better leaders. They speak differently, they walk with purpose, and they return home with a mission. Even journalists, once seen as outsiders to national defense, now write with greater empathy. They understand the fear on the battlefield. They have carried the same weight, walked the same paths, and learned what it means to serve. This transformation is no accident. It is the result of Traoré's leadership, his choice to include, to train, and to challenge the citizens of Burkina Faso has created something rare, a shared sense of destiny. The message is clear. Security does not only come from guns. It comes from discipline, comes from unity, and most of all, it comes from belief. Belief in oneself, belief in neighbors, and belief in a future that is worth defending. Traoré is not just building an army. He is building a nation, one that is alert, united, and unafraid to stand together. For the older generation, this vision is a reminder of times when community meant everything, when people looked after one another, when service to the nation was a badge of honor, not a burden. And for the younger generation, it is a call to rise, to serve, and to lead, not just with weapons but with heart. From dusty training grounds to silent watch posts, in remote villages, a quiet revolution is unfolding in Burkina Faso. It is not led by generals or fought with tanks. It is carried by teachers, merchants, mothers, and broadcasters who have chosen to take part in defending their homeland. This is the vision of Traoré. Vision that says security belongs to everyone, that a nation does not rise by relying on others but by standing together, shoulder to shoulder. The men and women who passed through immersion training did more than fire weapons. They walked in the boots of those who protect us. Every day, they learned discipline, restraint, and the power of unity, and they returned home changed, not with fear, but with pride. Their story reminds us that every citizen holds a piece of the nation's safety. Every village counts, every voice matters, and in times of threat, courage does not always come from soldiers. Sometimes it comes from the neighbor next door, the father of three, the quiet woman in the market. If you have ever held a job, raised a family, helped a stranger, then you already know how to serve. You already have what it takes, because the true defense of a country begins not at the border, but in the hearts of its people. Stand up, speak up, and carry the spirit of Traoré wherever you 45642.